What is going on, everybody? It is the one, the only safe queue from Retro Q Game, because naturally, well, we keep it safe here. We keep it suited up, hooded up, masked up, jimmied up, whatever it is we need to do. And why are my headphones being weird today? Off to a great start. But anyway, welcome everybody. Today we have a little bit in store for our Xbox event, or as I like to call it, the PC Multiplat event, because remember, everything you see on this one here today will also be on PC. Oh, except for maybe there might be a third-party game that's just an exclusive, but you get the idea. No, I haven't got a chance to get there just yet. My current gym opened up on Monday just gone, but they did it with such a weird way that you have to, even as a member, they have a limit on the amount of people they can have in at once. So you have to call at least a day in advance and book a 1 hour time slot. And you can have, I think it's up to 24 people or 25 people at a time. But they can have it in there, and then I just need to get back into it. I'm potentially calling today to set up one for tomorrow, but we have to see how it goes. Anyway, we're 11 and a half minutes out from our Xbox showcase here. So what I got to do some setup here. It feels like forever since I've done a stream. Anyway, actually, you know what? Just as a quick opener, we do have our new metric. You might remember there are different websites out there, different streamers, different people, different whatever it is, different organizations that'll always give you their own version of it. They might give it a 3 out of 5. They might give it 2 thumbs up. They might give it a 4 thumbs down, whatever it is. But they might give it an arbitrary score. We do things a little bit differently here. Now, we're going to grade this overall presentation, and with the quality of the presentation and whatever they show and the future games and all as well, it all comes down to one thing. Is the future going to be so bright thanks to Xbox that we got to wear shades? Well, that remains to be seen just yet. That's our metric. Will they or won't they be that promising? Now, until then, we still have 10 and a half minutes to talk a little bit about what we expect to see today. Of course, the big one that everyone is expecting. Well, not just expecting, but the big reason why everyone is here. They have promised next-gen campaign gameplay of Halo Infinite. That's a big one, especially for me. I'm a big Halo guy. So that's a very, very important one for a lot of people, especially they have many things to clear up after the May version as well. You might remember the one in May where they showed off the next gen gameplay. Ooh, lad, that was not good. They had the whole Assassin's Creed Valhalla thing. Yeah, that was pretty bad. A lot of the other stuff we've seen in there too was all, yeah, it's coming to Xbox, but it's also coming to PC, and what we're showing you here is developed on a PC, running on a PC, and this is PC footage. And in some cases, 1 or 2 of the games have had media outlets and all have to go back and remove original claims that it was running at 4K 60 on Xbox, because it'll be 30 FPS on Xbox. So that's an important one. Now, of course, there's other stuff. So, it's very hard to get an answer for all of this that I've been able to get a solid one for today. I have been led to believe that this is going to be first-party stuff only. Now, I've also seen 1 or 2 other comments, but it's nearly impossible to get a definitive answer on this. But for all intents and purposes, it seems like there's going to be a small smitter... What's the word? Smitter? No. Small... Whatever. A small selection of third-party games going to be included as well, but you get the idea. The primary focus is first-party, so we will see stuff like Halo. We might see whatever is coming next. There's going to be new announcements. We might see the announcement of Perfect Dark. We might see the announcement of Fable. We might see the announcement of a new Gears of War. There might be Halo Wars 3 to go hand in hand with Halo Infinite. There could be other stuff. There's plenty that it could potentially be, but we don't know just yet. Now, on top of all of that, oh, what have we got here? Sorry, Paul. We are carnivores and omnivores, for that matter, up in here. We don't need no vegan approved anything here. We get all our saturated fats and our complete proteins from one source, which is where meat comes in. So, booyah. But yeah, I can't complain, you know, I'm doing the usual, sitting here waiting for Microsoft to hopefully wow me, but well, we all know that their track record hasn't been the greatest lately. But what else is there? Now they've also said that there will be basically only games in this, so don't expect a release date, a price, or a hardware announcement. So no Lockhart or Series S here or anything like that today. Wow, it's actually so hot out today that my computer fan is running up, which is always fun. But anyway, that's not too much of an issue. So I'm also wondering if we're going to see announcements of existing games, like say, what do we know that's coming? I'm just going to use this as an example. This one is already confirmed, but just to give you an example, Yakuza 7. Yakuza 7 is already announced for Xbox One and Xbox Series L, but let's say it wasn't. Let's say it was only announced for Xbox One. Like, I don't know, just Yakuza or Cyberpunk. You take that game and maybe they announce a next gen version of a game that only has a current gen version announcement. So we don't know. It could be all over the place. But as far as their new stuff, that the potential stuff that we could see, there's also talk from Obsidian. Obsidian are making some big RPG and all as well, other than that grounded shite. But that could have potential. Obsidian, of course, made The Outer Worlds, best game I played last year. They made Fallout New Vegas, probably the best Fallout game there is. Definitely the best 3D Fallout game there is. So there's big potential there anyway. I'm not a big Fable guy. In fact, I dislike Fable, so that's no big deal to me. But I would like to see Fable come back in the sense that it will give a bunch of other people something to play and something to come back. It's a little bit of a meme, but Microsoft pretty much is just Halo, Gears, Forza, Halo, Gears, Forza. Nothing else is big or important enough to warrant a consistent mention or anything in those lines. But we don't know yet because it's just all over the place. Perfect Dark would be nice to come back as well. People were talking about a potential Blinks. I completely forgot about Blinks. I actually love that on the OG Xbox original 180. We might have another one. I'm not a huge fan of 3D platformers nowadays. I just limit it to very specific ones because most of them do it so wrong. Super Mario Odyssey was actually a great game, but you get my point. Let's see. Are we expecting performance details? So I do expect them to give performance details on all of this. As far as the first party stuff goes, I expect every single game to be 4K 60 for first party stuff. Now, I'm hoping that doesn't mean dynamic resolution or anything like that. I'm hoping it's a legit native 4K with preferably 100% solid 60 FPS, but there might be I could accept 2% drops or something along those lines. Overall, first party stuff, they've made such a big deal about it that I'm expecting the first party to only focus on 4K 60 as a minimum. You might see other modes as well that have like a 1440 120 or a dynamic 4K 120 or 1080 120 or something along those lines. That's what I'm expecting. As far as any other third party stuff or anything else they show here today, outside of first party stuff, it could go either way. It could be 50-50. They could include it. The Medium, for example, is tipped to be 4K 30 on Xbox because recently, within the last 2 weeks or so, a bunch of media outlets have had to go back and retract all their statements that said the Medium will be running at 4K 60 on Xbox Series L. So they've had to retract all that. So it's looking like it's 4K 30, whereas 4K 60 on PC. What am I expecting in terms, or what would I like to see in terms for Halo? Well, I'll use this as the console example because obviously I'm going to be playing on PC where I can play it at 120 frames per second. For Halo on console, I would like to see 4K 60. It's just, that's the minimum I expect from everything they've pushed about this. There are 4K 60s, all the stuff they're going on. There are 12 teraflops. I am expecting 4K 60 minimum for all the first party games, especially with Halo. It would be, I don't think, at least depending on how the game is, For a single player campaign, I could see them offering maybe a 120 FPS mode. But for online multiplayer and all that as well, maybe they're going to have to stick with one thing. They're going to have to stick with either 60 or 120. Not a choice, not a one or the other. But the big problem is, if you have all this 120 FPS stuff, and you're giving it all to these people that are using 60 FPS TVs and 60 FPS monitors, those people are still at a disadvantage. And those people are still the majority. 60 FPS and 60 Hz is still the majority. Now, not for someone like me, but I am not the majority, so it's all over the place. The Greenberg has been crossed the streams with messaging. Expectations are very low, like the Dorito. Yeah, the Mr. Doritos Gate himself, Jeff Keighley, or Jeff Shilley, he's been doing a pre-show for the last 45, nearly 50, 60 minutes or so, since 4 o'clock basically. It's nearly 5 now. And they've been doing a couple of small announcements and all there. I've kept up, I haven't been watching it, but I've been keeping up with it on the Twitter machine, and there's Dragon Quest was announced. That's a fantastic game, and that's coming to Xbox now obviously, so that's good anyway. So I've just been ignoring the pre-show completely as far as the pre-show itself is. And yes, the marketing is very mixed. The marketing is kind of all over the place, because they'll say, a great example is right before the presentation in May. We're going to have to wrap this up real quick because the show's about to start. But the presentation in May, minutes before it started, he said 60 FPS is the minimum default standard output. It will support up to 120. And then moments later, you had confirmations of 30 FPS games. So that's why I'm expecting all the Microsoft first-party stuff to be 4K 60 as its standard target. Also, just before we do have one more minute to go in there as well, I do want to say that I do have low expectations for this. I do have slightly higher expectations because of stuff that is confirmed in it, like Halo and the fact that we're going to have first-party stuff. What are we going to see? Is it going to be Gears Tactics, Gears 7? Who knows? Perfect Dark. We've already covered all this stuff, but just to give you the idea, compared to stuff we had in the past, the May presentation was absolutely awful. I thought it was a disaster and I hated it. We also had the Sony reveal event, which I streamed as well in June, I think it was, which was also a disaster. I'm expecting this to be better than those. They were very, very low, but I'm expecting a little bit better. You tried so many times to put your faith in Xbox. Xbox was epic in the 360. I will completely give you that. I don't see them putting things right. Yeah, well, a lot of people are saying that it could just be an app and a platform, if you will, like Steam and all, within a couple of years. They basically already are in a way. They're already multiplat. Everything here today is going to be on multiple platforms, including PC, which is where I will be playing them. But anyway, that's enough of that. We'll get straight in here and we'll see what's going on. I was planning on playing a bit of music, but I didn't bother. Let me know how the volume is. I can turn stuff up, down as needed. I always have a little bit of problem with volume on these because they're all over the place. Oh, and remember, if you weren't here when I very started it, the quality metric for this is not a standard score. It's not a 9 out of 10, a 10 out of 10, a 3 out of 5, whatever it is. Is the future so bright? We gotta wear shades. We'll find out by the end. It judges the presentation overall. No Dolby Atmos just yet, but I possibly will have that set up by the end of the year. That looked like a Halo armor plate. Yeah, this is Halo.
The Mjolnir exosuit is
Yep.
now complete.
This is Halo, that's Mjolnir.
Even though this technology will save humanity in the war to come, I must remind myself, liquid crystal cannot rise on its own.
I also hope
Titanium alloy cannot prevail in the face of extinction.
that Halo is a kind of standard style game. I do not want the Destiny clone.
Cannot hope.
Or are we going to open up with Halo gameplay?
All means nothing. Until you step inside.
Because they have confirmed there will be Halo campaign gameplay. Will they open with it? Will they throw it in the middle or save it to the end? Oh, press start. Oh! Press start to start the demo, lads.
Am I dead already? I must be. I mean, this is a punishment, right? Yep, this is death.
Okay, this looks like gameplay. Or in-engine something.
No! No! No, 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 no! This isn't happening. I'm going to have to make an emergency landing. Hold on, Chief.
I really hope they don't just convert it over to a Gears of War style. Not a third person, but just basically, oh, well, we've lost and let's redo our fight.
No! No! You! I can't stand this! Who you are?
Breathe.
No! You don't get to tell me what to do. You don't get to tell me anything. We're... Are you even listening?
I count 3 anti-aircraft cannons.
3 what?
You'll be safe here.
Oh, I'll be safe. Safe? I haven't been safe since I found you. I found you, remember? You were out there on your own, and you'd still be out there if it wasn't for me. I thought I was going home.
There won't be a home if we don't stop the Banished.
You keep saying that. We're outgunned, outnumbered. I know I saw condors over there.
I can't even remember what the Banished are. Because Halo Wars 2 was so forgettable.
We'll get away from here. Far away.
Wait here.
Oh, here we are, lads.
Please. Let me see what I can find.
Cannons first.
We're gonna have some.
When I get back,
We're gonna have some gameplay.
together.
Okay, big guy.
This is it. I can feel it. Gameplay, lads. It's official. As far as graphics seeming undercooked, there's 2 reasons for that. One, it's a cross-generational game, so there are going to be problems in that way. It's going to be an Xbox One game turned up to max, if you will. It's not going to be a proper next-generational game. And 2, as much as I like Halo, you cannot admit, or you can't really debate it, that Microsoft's studios and all as well have a much more basic and simplistic art style. It's not down on the level of Nintendo's stuff, but it's far more simplistic compared to Xbox One games versus PS4 games. Oh no! They're going the whole pseudo open world style. They're doing... It looks like they're actually doing it. Now you can say, oh, well, Q, Halo 1 started off like this as well. But... this is something I kind of... Yeah, Biz, it's definitely something with a Halo on it. Oh, that's a new gun. It's like an auto DMR. So far it's pretty much like I predicted all these years and had said that I didn't want it to be all after all this time. Oh, he's got a kind of like a grapple thing. I noticed, I saw in the very intro part of it, where it was the CG making the armor. It looked like there was a little bit of grapple and all, but I just kind of thought I just might factor it into the armor. Imagine what it's going to look like on Xbox One. It's basically going to look like a Switch game, Biz. Because don't forget, it's basically just an Xbox One game, and then on the Series L, it's just going to be turned up graphically. But the basis is still held back. Now, I don't expect these visuals to be final, but I also don't expect these visuals to be that far back, which is very depressing because there's a lot of shadows and stuff missing. Enemies just standing around and you're just seeing no shadows and stuff. I am expecting this to be a little bit of an early build, but not so much that it has a ridiculous amount of everything removed. Did that say pick up pulse card? Or maybe a swap for a pulse card. The Series L is how I explain my blasphemy, because pretty much everything about the Xbox Series X has Microsoft holding L's at this point. So that's all it will ever be referred to as. It's already sitting at like 6 different L's at this point, and they're just going to increase. The lullabox. It's from the makers of the Ouya. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? When it comes to this game, Halo Infinite here, this doesn't necessarily look bad, okay? I'm not saying... It does look a bit slow, I will say that. I mean, I've been playing Halo on PC and Halo 3 and whatnot, and it's a considerably faster-paced game. But this does look like a very slow-paced game, and it does have a bunch of elements that I'm not happy to see brought to Halo.
This war months ago.
But I'm still expecting it to be relatively enjoyable.
Hunted, defeated by me. I wish I could tell you it was difficult.
Especially because
It wasn't.
everyone has such high hopes and high expectations for Halo Infinite.
Step ahead. Always. The ring is already under our control. Soon, the auditorium as well. The Harbinger and the Banished share the same goal. We fight together to honor the will of Atriox. But without challenge, I grew weary, lost, alone. But here you now stand.
Like,
This
I'm not one
is my last
to usually
fight.
point this out.
A true test of legends. Our story will outlive us both.
But
Set a fire
look at
in
this
your
guy's face, for
heart,
example.
Spartan.
They're really trying to focus on the
Bear
detail.
your fang.
That's barely there.
Fight hard. Die well.
A lot of it looks very basic. You compare it to what Sony have been showing off for close-ups on Ghost of Tsushima and all of that stuff. Even The Last of Us Part 2, I'm just going to say it. And that wasn't even... That's a whole other story. But this doesn't look next-gen. This doesn't even look as good as some PS4 games. At least in stuff like that.
We hope you enjoyed your first look at Halo Infinite's campaign. I'm incredibly proud of the team at 343.
Let's see
and
what
we're
they say
thrilled to
anyway.
share a hint of the epic battles that await you on the next chapter of Master Chief's journey. This is the most ambitious campaign we've ever created at 343. For the first time, players will have the freedom to explore a mysterious new Halo ring that's several times larger than our last two
There's
Halo
still
games
some
combined.
obvious next-gen
Halo Infinite has
improvements
been
in
built
like
from the
lighting and
ground up
whatnot
to
too.
take full advantage of Xbox Series X.
But there's
Bigger battles,
some
epic
noticeable
vistas,
problems.
more complex visual effects, displayed with 10 times the processing power per pixel of Halo 5. This will be running at a flawless 60 frames per second and will allow us to bring the Halo ring to life in ways that
Flawless,
have never
eh?
been possible before. We look forward to sharing even more about Halo Infinite in the coming months, including the first look at multiplayer. And now, please enjoy a glimpse of what others in the Xbox Game Studios family have been working on.
Okay, so that's probably all we're going to see from Halo.
World premiere.
So this will probably be something brand new. Could it be Fable? Perfect Dark? Blinks? Something else I can't remember? Something completely different? State of Decay 3, maybe? It's like a woke version of... What's that Leonardo DiCaprio film? It's like a woke version of that. Yeah, power means nothing if you can't fully use it. That's why I despise the idea that Microsoft stuff is going to be cross-generation for a few years. Because if your development floor is here, your ceiling is here, when the floor goes down to fit in the Xbox One, it drags the ceiling down with it. So that's why Halo Infinite just there looked like an Xbox One game turned up the max and just cranked with the resolution up and the frame rate. Just used the power in that. Oh! Someone pick up that phone by us, because I fucking called it.
Jesus!
Welcome everyone to the Xbox Game Showcase.
It's Halo Finish.
Today, we're showing games from 9 of our 15 Xbox Game Studios, including unveils of 5 new first-party games.
Okay, 5
What
new
you'll
first
see
parties.
today is how Xbox Game Studios are harnessing their passions to bring their dreams to life. We believe that how you find and play your games is as important as the device you play them on.
As long as they come to PC,
Xbox
I
Game
don't care.
Pass is the best way to discover and play. And we want you to be able to experience as many great games as possible. So Game Pass members, you can play every game you see today from your subscription or free to play. These games will look and play best on Xbox Series X.
Except for compared to
delivering
PC.
unmatched fidelity,
Where they will play
performance,
best.
precision, and immersion. And we've designed the most consistently powerful next generation processor. And we've built state-of-the-art platform technology to allow every developer to realize their full vision. One studio that has always pushed the limits of our hardware is Turn 10. And they're early in
Forza.
development on the next Forza Motorsport. And Xbox Series X is bringing them closer to their dream of unprecedented realism with ray tracing and native 4K resolution, all at 60 frames per second. The trailer you're about to
I would
see
hope so.
was captured completely in-engine.
In-engine, remember, not actual gameplay. Real-world gameplay
premiere.
will look slightly worse. It's an important thing to note. We saw that in the previous presentations. But yeah, I would expect a racing game to be running at native 4K 60 FPS. In fact, technically, the Xbox One X can even do that. Because racing games and fighting games are the two easiest games to render. But this is what I was saying. This links in with Halo. So far, now I don't know if these are cutscenes or because they're obviously not gameplay, but something about it just looks ever so cartoony. I don't know what it is. Something just looks surreal in the what way? Surreal in the bad way. The non-realistic way, in, again, the bad way. So Rare, what are we going to see here? Are we seeing Perfect Dark? Are we seeing a Sea of Thieves expansion? Are we seeing something completely new and different?
Our world has a rhythm.
This is something completely new and different.
Sense it. But only a few
Oh my god.
truly feel it.
Already. A once legendary studio
It is
named
found in
Rare
the smallest moments.
with the world's most powerful console, and this is what we're getting. This is the problem.
Every step of a perilous journey. In the
Yeah,
symmetry
I
of
find it hard to
ritual,
care as well, Biz. It's just ridiculous at this point.
in the bonds we share.
Remember, people made fun of State of Decay, Crackdown, 360,
And in
Sea of
moments
Thieves.
of
Why? Because they
stillness.
all have the same grounded, that wannabe Overwatch game that they're making. They all look like this crap. They all use this art
It
style.
teaches
People
us
don't
to
want
look
that.
beyond the expected. To be a light in dark places.
Because I don't know about you, but I like to buy the world's most powerful console to play a
To
cel-shaded
seek
game.
answers. And to stand watch over our world. Our world has a rhythm. We all sense it. But only a few truly feel it.
I mean, Sony had it right. We believe in generations. I agree.
He's a madman! A madman!
Yeah, that's my point, Biz. Remember when Rare were Rare and that name
Everwild
meant
will
something?
give to you
Now they're
a magical
nothing.
and untamed natural world for you to explore and to just truly
This girl's
lose
Irish.
yourself in. It's a place to be eternal. And Eternal has the gift to sense and feel how magic flows through nature and connects every living thing. The team here at Rare are so
Now,
excited
I
to
want
be
to
working on something
emphasize
like
something the
Everwild.
same way I did during
And
the
I hope you're
PlayStation
excited
conference.
Too. But I just want to take this opportunity to say a massive, massive thank you to everyone who's shown their support and love, and for the incredible, awesome, positive community that's already growing around this game. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay, so, like a lot of the indie stuff and all the other shite they showed in the PlayStation one as well, it's not that I think the games would be bad games or anything like that. It's not specifically about the game's quality. It's what you expect from a bigger name studio and a studio that has a pedigree like Rare and a next generation console,
It
the
doesn't matter.
most powerful machine in the
But they
world.
don't believe us.
This is the new Don't Nod game.
We all
It's
believed that would happen that night.
Tell Me Why, I think it's called. And
But we couldn't be sure.
it's like what's that one called?
It doesn't
Life is
matter
Strange and
that
all
they
that.
kept us apart.
Brother, sister, we look out for each other.
It doesn't matter that finding the truth feels impossible.
Game as a servant, yeah, probably.
We're all done with fairy tales.
The only thing
Breath
that
of the
matters
Breath of the Wild, it looked very similar.
is you're my brother.
Breath of the Wild had many, many visual issues.
And the only way to move forward is to keep looking back.
We've been getting these visions whenever we see or hear something really emotional.
Not an exact release date yet, Biz. We've seen months,
Everything
we've seen
we thought we knew about
confirmed
Marianne
for
just
other
got thrown
stuff.
out the window.
But they haven't give exact release dates
She
yet.
loved you.
Simply
She attacked you.
because
We both
that
saw
would
it.
mean they give the release date of the console, but they haven't announced
I
yet.
thought coming here would be closing a chapter of our lives.
Nothing good comes from stirring up old memories.
We don't really have a choice about that.
There's always a choice, son.
I can't do this. Stop!
Well, there you go, Viz. You just got yourself a release date for a game you probably don't care about. Well, yeah, Paul, that one is a cross-generational game. It was announced originally as an Xbox One game.
Hey everyone, my name is
Well,
Gennady.
Xbox
I'm
and
the
PC.
co-founder and director of technology at Moon Studios. Today we're very excited to tell you that we're working on a very, very special version of Ori and the Will of the Wisps, specifically for Xbox Series X. We are now at a time where we can reach levels of fidelity and frame rates previously absolutely impossible on any console.
Yeah, I'm happy he
An
said
already gorgeous
console.
game like Ori can now run at 120 Hz refresh rate in full 4K HDR in its highest quality, delivering unprecedented game feel with silky smooth animation, super crisp, sharp image, and low input latency, which is just so important for the tight and precise platforming feel of this game. We can also boost the immersion in different spaces in our world by using premium audio tech that we previously just could not simulate in real time. And with all of this crazy hardware power, we can give our players more options with how they want to play our game. We can't wait for all of you to experience this very special version of Ori.
I actually have Ori
coming to
too.
Xbox Series X with smart delivery later this year.
Yeah, I actually have Ori Will and the Wisps. I haven't played it yet. But I bought it on Steam. Private Division. I recognize the name. Oh, this... Oh yeah, this is the DLC for the Outer World, or the Outer Worlds.
Abandoned research facility, and now shady corporate intrigue.
Marvel of the Gorgon asteroid, a sordid stopover, full of salacious secrets and scandalous strangers.
Greetings, attractive patron. You are looking downright unlawful today.
With the right kind of case,
They wanted us to develop a miracle drug.
can put you on the wrong side of a gun.
I will say this though,
Or sword.
I have a little problem
Or this thing.
with this. Because
Thrills.
since they went Epic exclusive, Epic timed exclusive on PC,
Intrigue.
A word of
I...
advice before you go, Captain?
Let's call it...
Trust no one.
Let's call it downloaded the game, shall we? So, it's very difficult for me to care about it at this point.
On Gorgon.
It's not my face.
This unit cannot bring you any drinks in its current state.
September 9th. The game was... Oh no, Biz, I'm gonna disagree with you on that one. The Outer Worlds was my favorite game of last year. This is Grounded. This is the other game from Obsidian.
If you're waiting...
And people, you see how there's the art style. You see this common denominator we're talking about here.
Then wait for Cyberpunk.
Okay, get wrecked. Grounded.
But if you're ready for the smallest, we've got you covered.
I mean, that's not a good marketing scheme, is it? Congratulations. We have the smallest game of the year, bros.
Games that are nothing like this one. This summer, strive together to thrive together. Or just feed your friend to the spiders and go solo.
See why no one takes Microsoft serious for a while? Yeah, Battletoads. Maybe that's something we'd see today. And as a quick important one, Grounded is already out on Xbox 360 or Xbox One. Looks like a 360 game, I guess.
At Obsidian, we're dedicated to pushing narrative and role-playing games. It's something we do every day when we come to the office, and we can't wait for you to play our next great adventure, Peril on Gorgon. is the first of 2 planned story expansion packs for the Outer Worlds that we're putting together with our friends from the Private Division. Now, it's also important that we continue to evolve how we tell stories in games, and Grounded is the perfect example.
Well, not even bug level
been working
adventure.
for the last
The
2
fact that
years
it's
on how to
small,
tell an Obsidian
minuscule
story
stuff.
within a survival game.
It's just
now, what's great is that you're going
not
to be able
appealing.
to play the game on July 28th on Xbox Game Preview and on Steam Early Access. We want to hear from you, and we want to continue to build Grounded together. If you've been wondering, we have been working on that next big Obsidian RPG.
Yeah, but tell us.
Check this out.
Okay, they're going to show us the one. This is the important
world premiere.
This is the good one. This is the one that everyone will actually care about. This game on PS1. Yeah, Biz, it was called Spider. It was just called Spider on the PS1. That was actually a really good platformer.
We have always known war.
And you were crawling around drains and stuff like that. And like sewer systems and pipes and all.
It forged our empire. Turned heroes into queens and kings.
They've got
decimated our foes.
They've got off-brand Jared Butler here.
Now our oaths are lost. Forsaken. And you must face the monsters our sins have borne.
I will say, since they're
worth the weight of a crown.
What's it, Avowed? It's kind of funny. Since Obsidian made the best Fallout game, now it looks like they're trying to make the best Elder Scrolls game.
That is so gnarly. Avowed is an
I would have
expansive
preferred a
first-person
more
RPG
modern
set in the fantasy
sci-fi
world
style.
of Eora. When Obsidian Entertainment joined Xbox Game Studios, they told us that
A la
this
Fallout
epic
and,
game is the one they want to make.
Outer Worlds and
As
stuff.
creators of critically acclaimed RPGs, this is Obsidian at their best, and it is being built from the ground up to take full advantage of the power of Xbox Series X.
I didn't see it on the bottom
we
there.
also work with independent
Did that say
developers,
Xbox One,
always with
Xbox
the
Series
goal
L, and
of
PC,
empowering
or
them
just
to bring their
Xbox Series L
ideas
and
to
PC?
life. I'm excited to announce our work with Interior Night, a new studio led by some of the most talented storytellers in our industry. Let's meet Caroline Marshall, studio head of Interior Night, to debut their original game.
Because it was.
Bonjour, I'm Caroline from Interior Night.
She's French.
Our team is really passionate about interactive storytelling because when you play a story, you step into the character's shoes. You get to experience their fears, their hopes, their conflicts firsthand. And in the process, you learn more about yourself. And this is quite powerful.
Something always
Our
feels
first
so
game spans 30 years in the American
robotic
Southwest.
with
It's a story
presentations like
about
these.
family,
Not just her.
resilience, and sacrifice. But most of all, it's about how you will shape the fate of real, flawed people trying to find their way in a world they don't fit in. I hope you enjoyed the trailer.
I guess it is completely scripted, so kind of makes
premiere.
sense. World premiere.
Fortune, fortune, smile and fade. I haven't seen you much of late. I need you now, cannot wait.
God, all these people are annoying me
We
on
were
my
on
day
our way to
off.
start a new life that summer. For our family, it was just a stopover.
No, I will say I'm not going to shit.
It's the end of the road.
When there's the talk of all the art style and all as well, I'm not going to shit on this one
Down on all of us that
because
day.
clearly, if it's a small indie game
Was
in
it
any
fate?
studio, there's a bit of a
Coincidence?
difference. But if Microsoft is working with them, who knows? Maybe they
It was
could.
a long forgotten secret, buried in the dark.
Yeah.
All my life,
Their
I've
art
been
styles
scared of the shadows,
are just kind of all the same.
but now I'm finally ready to step into the light.
And it's basically been a meme. I mean, you could call it a meme, but at the same time, it's
your letters.
if you'll excuse the play on words, it's grounded in reality. Look at all the games I mentioned, the 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever it was, 8 examples, all using the same art
Theory,
style.
we're hard at work on all of our projects.
This guy has a man bun.
Including Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, which we announced at the Game Awards back in December.
A man bun.
I hate these
An incredible
fucking people.
3.5 million
these
players
people
have
so
now
much.
experienced Senua's story in Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice. We're excited to start giving you an insight into what comes next for our Celtic warrior. An experience that we'll be building in Unreal Engine 5 for Xbox Series X and PC.
Yeah, pretty
I'm happy
pretty
to
much
reveal
biz.
today that Senua's Saga will be set in the beautiful country of Iceland.
It all has that detailless
And you can
look.
find out more about our location scouting and how we've
Everything is
discovered
just
the
kind
history
of
our setting
smooth and
in a brand new
detailless.
behind-the-scenes development diary, which you can view straight after the show on the Ninja Theory YouTube channel.
Oh, you're dead right. You're dead right, Paul. Anyone wearing a man bun, just stay away from me. You need to have a certain level of testosterone to be able to hang out with
It's
me.
been so
If you wear a
touching
man
to see
bun,
the
clearly
impact that
you're
Hellblade
far,
Senua's
far below that.
Sacrifice has had on so many players, and we're incredibly thankful to all of the fans that have been part of Senua's story so far. And we're excited for you to be part of our development journey from here on out.
I tried to play the first one, Senua's Sacrifice, and I was not happy with it. I ended up having to quit it because I was just so... I only played it for maybe about half an hour or an hour, but it was just so... Yeah, it just annoyed me. I'd have to see... I'd have to Google that one, Biz. I'm not familiar with that one.
What? Peter? Peter, he's been sitting there the whole time? Hey, who wrote the song? Peter. Oh, Peter. Fantastic work. Love the song. Very much. It's gonna be fun to sing it. Now it's time to...
Are we getting...
Probably been a long time.
Oh, it's
since you
Psychonauts
got a
2,
visitor.
okay.
I hope you don't mind pop-ins.
I forgot Double Fine made Psychonauts.
Where are we?
Shh. It's a quiet place.
And one other thing I'll say as well is I'm not going to give Double Fine and Psychonauts 2 shit for the art style, even though it is the same, simply because the first one was like that, and they're just continuing on.
Now
So
my cover's low at the bottom of a lake.
just make sure you play the OG Xbox version, Biz. It's supposed to be the best one.
When my friends pulled me back up, I started Now I can feel out the galaxy and hear the flow of time. Been so tense, but now I
But let me just use this as another example. Look at what we're seeing right here in front of us. Does this scream the world's most powerful console to you in any way?
and I can taste the sky, and I can see each molecule through my
I thought he said it would be next gen heavy. I'm almost certain I read earlier on that he said it would be next gen heavy, but there would be a couple of current gen stuff in rather than the other way around. But again, this also goes back to the thing. When you look at it, Microsoft they're taking the wrong approach to this. They're factoring in Xbox One, a massively flopped and failed console. Sony are going big. Sony are going generational games and exclusives. Something Microsoft didn't have. See, that's on Xbox One as well. So you do not need to buy a Series L to play that game. In fact, anything you see here today, you don't need to buy a Series L for. Because you can just play most of them.
We can't wait
all
for you
of
to
them on
experience
PC.
the amazing games built by Xbox Game Studios. And there is just so much more for you to play on Xbox. We are partnering with thousands of creators, from the largest publishers to the smallest independent developers,
The most
to
fun
bring you the
game.
broadest variety of games ever.
It's not saying much though, Biz,
There's
is it?
one developer in particular that is close to us, not just geographically, but in history too. I'm thrilled to announce that this fall, our friends at Bungie will bring Destiny 2 to Xbox Series X and Xbox Game Pass.
See, this was already announced.
If you are one of the more than 10 million Game Pass subscribers,
Why
you
is
also
this
get
here? This is
access
already
to
announced.
All current Destiny 2 expansions starting this September.
Remember, Destiny
Game
2 is a
Pass
free-to-play
Ultimate members,
game.
Destiny 2 will also be playable on mobile from the cloud.
Biz, you're fired.
Later this year,
Get out of here.
Bungie will also release a new version of Destiny 2 that is optimized for Xbox Series X. 4K resolution running at 60 frames per second. Here's an all-new look at Bungie's Destiny 2 Beyond Light.
I'm just gonna say.
Glorious PC Gaming Master Race.
I've seen terrible things born out in the darkness. Every moment brings them closer. It's time to step beyond the light.
When did Destiny 2 launch? Was it 2017? And here we are in 2020. After the game completely flops and flops and fails every time. Talking about a next-gen port of a game that pretty much everyone hates and is universally despised by everyone except for Biz in chat here. I mean, I know that when he saw this announcement, it just hit him like... But still. Yeah, they're apparently wasting this time. You know why? Because Xbox has no games. So November 10th, that could
This
potentially
is
be
Destiny
the
2
release
that you can
date.
play any way you want thanks to Xbox Game Pass. Some of the world's most inspired developers are working on games for Xbox
I can't
Series X.
believe
We're just honored
Destiny
to be
2
able to
is in this.
collaborate with them. Xbox Series X will empower
It's not
both
like it's
new and
GTA
experienced
5,
creators,
the biggest game in the
bring
world.
future of games to life like never before.
What is it, the second
Unique
biggest game in
perspectives,
history?
Unexpected innovation.
It's Destiny
and fresh
fucking
voices
2.
that demand to be heard and that we can't wait for you to discover.
Why you pouring me?
All of the games you're about to see are being built to launch exclusively on Xbox consoles. Thanks and enjoy.
Now I'm in a bad mood, and now I'm annoyed by this, even with my very, very low expectations. Right, console launch exclusive, so not an exclusive game. Yeah, 20 minutes left, so basically we have 20 minutes of annoyance, disappointment. What is this, Stalker? I'm pretty sure this is the new Stalker. Stalker 2. Or how they stylize it, S-T-A-L-K-E-R. Paul, I don't jive with that Demolition Man stuff. You won't hear me getting citations for language up in this bitch. Yeah, I am 99.9% sure this is Stalker 2. Or maybe a remake of the originals. Yep, it is. It has to be. There's no way it can't be. Yeah, absolutely, Tommy. I completely agree. Next gen looks lame as hell. Hey, look! I was right. Why? Because the game is obvious and has been shown for a long time.
World premiere.
Remember, it said console launch exclusive, so it's just eventually coming to PlayStation. Hey look, console launch exclusive, eventually coming to PlayStation. But remember, they're also on PC, so they are multi-platform games. This looks like the medium. Oh yeah, that's what I was hoping for earlier, Paul. If they, even if they were just to bring back Fable, even though it's not my cup of tea, or bring back Blinks, or bring back something.
My Lord Inquisitor, I've reached a term of prime and begun our investigation.
Oh, I think this is the new, not Hellblade game, Hell something.
Squad has been sent into sub-level 6 of the Hive.
Oh no, Warhammer.
To determine the full extent of the unrest.
There's a new Warhammer game apparently.
I'll know more when they make it back.
Yeah, that's what really worries me, Tommy, is that because Microsoft are making all this money on all their services, that they're going to neglect games. Oh, you know what? How did I not notice the plasma rifle, actually? The design on it. I'm really surprised I didn't notice that. Yeah, it feels like they're just gonna go with. It's the same way with the whole Xbox Live Gold thing. Oh look, world premiere console launch exclusive, so it will be coming to PlayStation 5. Don't tell me. I really hope this is some of the marketing, and just I hope this is not one of the FMV games that they're just showing like this. What is it? 1 versus 200 or something? Come on. 2 versus 200? 1 versus 64,000? This is about the Xbox being inclusive. Hey look, they made an L. What? Oh, don't tell me it's Tetris 99. Really? I mean, it is Tetris, clearly. Here we are, guys. The pinnacle of next gen. Tetris. You heard it here first. It's some weird multiplayer Tetris. But here we are. Something that can only be achieved with the power of the cloud. The Xbox Series L, it's 12 teraflops, the most powerful console in the world, and all high-end PCs. And we are fucking... I'm actually so tempted to just Alt F4 and quit the stream right now.
Approaching orbit. Scans a no-go. Sure you want to drop here?
Oh yeah. Already lacing up my boots back here.
What we got?
I just don't even care anymore.
Space rock?
Whoa. Hold on, let me check.
What the fuck? Find anything good?
Rex, you're not gonna believe this.
Hey look! Another game with this exact cartoony basic art style. Yeah, see, busy. We're on the exact right page. I think it's safe to say that the future, what we were going to use with our metric, the future is not so bright we're going to have to wear shades. I'm so pissed off now. And there's still 13 fucking more minutes of this. Oh, put it this way, Tommy, right? After I saw Halo Infinite gameplay, I will admit, I was almost certain that this was gone. that this was done in the worst way. Okay, this is Bloober Team. Bloober Team is the medium. This game does potentially look good. I have this on my wish list on Steam. So I am going to give this one the benefit of the doubt so far.
With a dead girl.
But remember, this isn't a Microsoft game.
The moon. Scent of pines. And then the gunshot.
I'm so mad right now.
Every story has two sides. A regular, rational one, but also a darker and deeper truth.
I'm so pissed off right now.
Unlike a nightmare, I can see both. Worse, I can link them.
I still think this game looks good though.
Hello? Anyone there?
Two worlds rendered simultaneously.
What is this place?
The power of the SSD though, guys. You know what it feels like, right? It feels like Microsoft realized they get shtick for only being Gears, Halo, Forza, Gears, Halo, Forza. So they specifically go out of their way to not use their old IPs, because then people will just say, oh, they can't come up with a new IP. They're just making the old stuff. They're just going back to that the whole time. It's a little bit more action-y than I would have liked, but it could still be salvageable. Maybe it's just the evolution of Silent Hill, I should say. Survival horror a little bit. I do have hope as well, because you see how this was featured today?
World premiere.
Just a few days ago, one of the devs of Bloober Team on Steam said that they will be posting the... what do they call them? They'll be posting the system requirements very soon. So I was expecting it to be here. Okay, it's Phantasy Star Online 2, something I would love to play, but is currently not only one, locked behind America and the release there, and is also locked behind the shitty online Windows 10 store. Yeah, I mean, there's not much I can comment on, but I just completely agree with you guys. It's just... I mean, I was so excited and so hyped to play Phantasy Star Online 2 8 years ago when it was first launched. It's not an exaggeration. 2012, look it up. Feels like Xenoblade X. Well, they're both probably pretty bad. I do have kind of hope for this one, but... Although I will say as well, after I finished Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition again a few weeks ago, I am going to go back and give Xenoblade Chronicles X a try later this year at some point, if I can stomach myself playing games. You can't really play it when it was current, Biz. Unless you downloaded the Japanese PC version and put in the English fan-made patch and created a Japanese account in English. It only launched on PC and Xbox a few months ago. April, I believe, on Xbox One. End of May on PC.
Global risk is scared of the weapon. You will become.
Oh, a new Remedy game. Oh no, Crossfire X campaign. Okay, so it's the campaign for that
Destiny chose me to save this
multiplayer game they're talking about. I played Xenoblade 2, Tommy. I didn't like it. I didn't get very far in it. I couldn't stomach playing it for too long. Between the severe ugliness of the game.
Can you protect me from fate?
And it just felt off from what I was playing. Hey look, Xbox Live Gold required. So I guess that's going to be... Remember when everyone was saying that, oh yeah, Microsoft are going to get rid of paid online? And I told them no, they're just rolling it into Game Pass.
The entire world will burn, all because of him.
Oh, definitely do Xenoblade Chronicles 1. That game is amazing. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is shite by comparison. Xenoblade Chronicles 1 is absolutely amazing. It's one of the... It's probably, possibly, the best JRPG of that generation. It's fantastic.
Today, you saw 10 world premieres and 22 console launch exclusives.
Are we over?
Game Pass members
already?
Can play every game
7 more
you've
minutes.
seen today from Xbox Game Studios and all of our partners in the subscription or free to play. This is just a peek at some of the new titles coming to Xbox Series
Gears
X.
Tactics was there.
And some of the
That's a
games
good
you
game.
already love
I've already
some
played
you
and
have yet
finished
to
it.
play will also be optimized for Xbox Series X. Games like Forza Horizon 4, Gears 5, and Sea of Thieves. You'll get the next-gen upgrades at no
It's
additional
funny.
cost.
Microsoft has put out more
expect a lineup
PC
of
exclusives
over
this year
100
than they
titles
have
for Xbox Series
Xbox
X
games.
this holiday season. With Series X and Game Pass, Xbox is the place to play, and you are at the center of everything we do. Now, you may have noticed we didn't get to visit all of our Xbox game studios today. That means we'll have more to share later this year. But until then, here's one more thing.
One more. You're dead right, Paul.
World premiere.
Dead right. After this is over, I will remember the usual stuff I expected today. I'll remember Halo. I'll remember The Medium. Playground Games. I don't even remember what they make.
The world is filled with stories
Well, this is probably Fable.
of legendary heroes and treacherous villains, of fantastical creatures and wondrous places where nature and magic live in perfect harmony. Not all stories have happy endings. But yours has yet to be written.
There you go. There's a new Fable right there. Show more Halo again. So, even though Fable won't really appeal to me, it's good to see that they're coming back with some of the old stuff and they're making sense of it as well. This presentation was a dud. I do think it's strange though, as much as Microsoft have been hyping up and promising that all our first party games will be cross-generation for the next 2 to 3 years, we've seen, I think it's 2 of them now. Fable did not have Xbox One on there. Fable said PC and Xbox Series L. But also, if they're only showing off that little announcement in a CGI thing right now in a small teaser, how far away is the game? I still can't believe they showed Destiny. Yeah. I'm gonna remember none of these after this presentation is over. Well, this presentation is probably done, I'd imagine. Yeah, thanks for watching. Okay, now I can actually go back and play my music. Let me know if this is too loud or anything. I just want it very low in the background as we talk, just for a little bit of ambiance. It's the beauty of multiple monitors, baby. So, let's see. You could rather get a 360 or Xbox One and play through some of the 360 hits. That's basically it. In this day and age. Okay, good biz, that's good. In this day and age, what you could do is you can pick up a dirt cheap Xbox 360 and you have access to a huge library and wealth of games. Quality games, exclusive games. And you can do that for probably pennies, or not literal pennies, but you can do that for a fraction of whatever else you can. If you buy Xbox One, you're fucked. I say this as someone who has 2 Xboxes. I have day one Xbox One, and I have an Xbox Series X, Xbox One X even. It's just, this next gen is just, why is it so bad? At this point, it's incompetence and talent, or lack of talent at this point. That's all it is. It has to be. You can buy all the studios you want. They can have all these great developers, coders, history of game creation, all of it. If the people in charge do not know what they're doing and they do not know how to guide the people they are working with, they do not know how to work with them, to manage with them, to create, to help them create and help them realize, you know what you get? Everything we just saw in this video. This is fucking disastrous. I gave Sony shit for opening up their presentation with GTA 5. And then we have Destiny 2 in this one. We have a different version of Tetris. Now, you can argue Tetris is technically the biggest game in the world. It's bigger than Minecraft. Minecraft is the 3rd biggest game in the world. It's bigger than GTA 5, which is the 2nd biggest game in the world. Tetris is the biggest game in the world. And that's what they're showing in this. That's what they're hanging their hat on. Now, you can see in the top left corner of your screen up there, it says Xbox Game Showcase. It has been reiterated, not just by me, not just by chat, not just by Microsoft or executives and all on the outside in tweets and all as well, that yes, this is showing next gen games and current gen games. That's the big thing. They're showing all of that. I see chat moving, guys. Give me a second. I'll get to it in a moment. I'm on a roll here. At the same time, there are expectations. Now, you don't have to smash and shatter all expectations beyond belief. In the run-up to your console, your next console, your one that you're promoting as the world's most powerful console, a console you are bandying around 4K, 60 FPS, 120 FPS, ray tracing, and this is what you show. There are some expectations. Now, someone's going to see this and get on me. It's like, oh, you just have way too high expectations. I started this with, on a scale of 1 to 100, my expectations were a 2. Maybe a 5 at best if I'm generous. People were watching this expecting something next gen. What did they get? Destiny 2. Destiny 2. Do you know how easy it is to run Destiny 2 on 4K 60 on a PC? You don't even need high-end hardware. It is very, very easy to run Destiny 2 at 4K 60. I fucking can't believe it. I'm catching up on checkers. Give me 1 second, sorry. Yeah, Phil Spencer is arguably one of their worst enemies at this point. You can go back and pre-E3 every single year, like the week or whatever it is, running up to E3. He says the same thing every year. Xbox is in the biggest and best place that it's going to be. We have the best and most amazing showcase of games. He says it before every single thing. No one believes him at this point. Or if you do, I'm sorry, it's your own fault for being disappointed in that way. Can we go back in time? You want to play PS2 again? It's funny you mention that, Biz. The 6th generation, PS2, Dreamcast, GameCube, OG Xbox, is the last console generation I consider to be truly great and truly amazing. You do have 1 or 2 games every so often that have come around every few years that have been amazing after that. But back then, across all 4 consoles, just count 3 of them if you want to take the Dreamcast out, because we all know what happened to it, there were still legitimately amazing quality games, and in such amazing supply and all as well. Now, what do we get? On the Sony side of it, we get the exact same game with a different skin. When you look at all the Sony first party stuff, that is, most of it is just basically copy and paste with a new skin. Or what do we get on the Xbox side of it? You get fucking pastel looking games made by once great studios in a style or a format or a genre that just no one gives a fuck about. Ones that look no good, ones that don't appeal to anyone. Remember, I brought it up a little while ago. Remember that game that I think it's Ninja Theory, possibly, were making for Xbox One? I think it went into closed early access beta or something like that. The whole Overwatch wannabe killer. When's the last time you even heard the name of that? I can't even remember the name. I don't know the name of that. The game is dead. Within like a week it had 70 players on PC. And that was cross-generation. So it had like 70 players. I say cross-generation. Cross-platform multiplayer. Oh, I still have more to catch up on here. Yeah, you guys are dead right. PS2... The PS2 alone has so many RPGs and JRPGs. Not just the big high-profile stuff like Final Fantasy, Persona and all that as well. There are so many small, no-name niche ones that you could probably just play only mediocre to amazing. You don't have to play the shit ones, but just including mediocre to amazing JRPGs on the PS2. And you would be sorted for a year. Maybe more. It's amazing. There are so many of them. Just so many good ones. All the Shin Megami Tensei games. You've got other stuff like Legaia 2 Dual Saga. Shadow Hearts 1 and 2. The third one is there too, but Shadow Hearts 1 and 2 are amazing. Some of the best RPGs of that entire era. There's so many others as well. Obviously Persona and all too is there. But it's just... So what game sells their new console? That is a great question, Biz. Let me just put that to you guys right there as well. What game sells the Xbox Series L to a consumer? If you're a fan of Halo, you can play it on Xbox One. You can play Halo Infinite on Xbox One. You don't need to buy a Series L to play the new Halo. You can play it on PC. Because it will also run on Xbox One, the system requirements will be 7-8 years old by now, because it has to work on equivalent hardware. So chances are anyone out there with a basic laptop or any kind of mid-range to entry-level gaming computer in the last 6 or 7 years can still play Halo. They do not need to buy an Xbox Series X. This is the problem. Everything else they showed today. Are you a die-hard Forza guy? Are you so hard for Forza that you will go and buy this new console just for Forza? What else did we see today? Fable. Maybe you cap for Fable. Well, guess what? Fable's also on PC where it will look and play better. You do not need to buy this. This is the problem. This is something Sony understands. To be honest, I will say a freedom fighter, okay? I will say this. Part of me wishes that the future was VR. I bought an Oculus Rift. It's actually over there behind me right now. It's not connected up. But I bought an Oculus Rift, okay? Currently, where we sit with VR is not great. It's not perfect. It's not there yet. Half-Life Alyx did an amazing step to bring it forward from what I understand. I'm waiting to buy a Valve Index when I get my RTX 3090 Ti, and then I'm going to play Half-Life Alyx the way it should be played. But the reason I was more interested in VR is because of the potential for it. When you play the proper, good, truly designed VR games, they're fantastic. They're amazing. What's it called? Robo Recall. As much, believe it or not, it's an Epic Games game. Robo Recall. That's amazing. It's one of the best VR games I played. Super Hot VR. It's fantastic. Half-Life Alyx looked like it's going to be top tier. So, it has the option and the potential. They can just expand on it. I'm going to have to change the music. This one's fading out. Let's go with this one. This one is a little bit low. I'm going to turn the volume up ever so slightly. Okay. Yeah, it's... At this point, I can't even say we're improving on graphics. Why? Because we're getting pastel claymation games on the world's most powerful 12 teraflop console. Really? Really? It's just... I'm so disappointed. Now, one sec, guys. I gotta catch up on your chat here, sorry. I wish, Paul, I will say, I absolutely wish Sony would come out and say full backwards compatibility for PlayStation 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the PlayStation 5. I don't expect it to happen. I don't expect anything beyond PlayStation 4 backwards compatibility, but I'm not your target consumer. I have... You know what? Fuck it. Watch this. You can't really see it because I'm sitting here in the dark. That's my professional grade CRT. With my Super Nintendo sitting on top of it and my Wii sitting beside it. I realize I am not the target consumer for all of their backwards compatibility and all. However, in some cases it's very easy. And no, I'm not sweating massively. It's just a shadow of this. So, don't worry about that. It's... Oh, I'm just so frustrated. I lost my train of thought where I was going when I was talking about the retro stuff. Because I was just getting annoyed. And I'm just so frustrated with the whole thing. It was something to do with backwards compatibility. I just don't remember what it was. Let's see, think of a VR, but something is still missing right now. I really need to move this setup a little bit better. Can I pop out this chat to make it... No, I can't. Okay, well, we'll figure it all out anyway. It depends, Tommy. There are some games in VR that do have really good, tight controls and tight gameplay. But they require bigger investment and bigger time and bigger money and all as well. In order to make those games, a lot of developers aren't willing to put the time and money in to make it because there's not enough people with VR headsets. And people are not willing to buy more VR headsets because no company is willing to put in the time and effort and money to make the games. So it's a vicious cycle. Half-Life Alyx and Valve proved that if you build it, they will come. But at the moment, most of what you have in VR is this. Waggle, waggle, waggle. That's the majority of what you get. With some basic stuff in there too, but you get the idea. I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to remember what I was talking about when it was... What I was getting to with backwards compatibility. It would have been amazing if they had backwards compatibility, but because of logistics and whatnot as well. I mean, even the Microsoft backwards compatibility on Xbox One isn't perfect. The ones they have there are really good, and I'm happy they've done it. In fact, the majority of stuff I play, I can't even say play on my Xbox One X because I barely even do it anymore, are basically just MGS2 and 3 HD and Resident Evil Code Veronica, which I need to get back around to doing. But you get the idea. But I don't know. I'm winding down on this one now. I need to get away from this idea and this whole Microsoft thing because this is just rough. You just read a comment from a 15-year Xbox fan, and he said he can't wait to buy a PS5. Exactly. He has no reason to get an Xbox. No reason to get an Xbox. An Xbox Series L at that point. As much as it benefits me personally, Microsoft should probably not have gone multiplat. As much as it benefits me personally, I can't even speak, I'm so frustrated. As much as it benefits me personally, because I have been able to play all the several games that I love better than I could on any Xbox console. I can play Gears of War 4, Gears of War 5 on my PC better than the Xbox. I can play Halo the Master Chief Collection better than I can on my Xbox. I can play Halo Wars 2 better than I can on my Xbox. There's a few other games as well there. Gears Tactics, for example, that's another one. Cuphead, there's more as well. The point is Microsoft have shot themselves in the foot in relation to trying to cultivate a box, a unit. No exclusive games is a killer. Absolute killer. I don't care what anyone says. Timed exclusive, console launch exclusive, only on Xbox and PC, it means nothing. If there's not something you can exclusively only play on that piece of hardware, you have no reason to buy it. That's it. Xbox has no games? You're right. In several ways. Xbox has no exclusive games. And you know what? Xbox has no games that you want to play. Grounded? I can't even remember half the other ones they named at this point in this crap today, but they all looked the same. And no one wants to play them. As is evidenced by everything they've put out over the last couple of years. And the sales, or lack of sales, from there. It's madness. It's like they need to... Hang on, let me... It's like they need to find a mechanic or something to make... Oh, okay, that's in relation to VR. Okay, I get you. Imagine Breath of the Wild, but beyond... Oh, you can look around with your... Yeah, that's it. They need to be able to transfer proper gameplay and proper mechanics to VR. Not just have it as the camera to look around and maybe press 2 buttons or swing 1 sword or something like that. They need to be able to do the full thing. Ray Tracing coming post-launch for Halo. Halo coming out early access. Is that true, Biz? Is that true? If that's true, then they're rushing it out just for launch. And then they're upgrading to the real next-gen version a little bit down the line. Oh yeah, just link me on Steam. And yeah, that is rough. That is rough. Okay. I'm going to have to leave it here, guys, because I am getting progressively more annoyed the more and more I talk about this, and the more and more it just hits me in the face on how stupid and idiotic the whole situation is. It just drives me mental. And to make it worse, you have people out there that hardcore defend this. You have people who will name their Twitter profiles after shitty initiatives like Game Pass and xCloud in order to promote how great Microsoft is as a company and their services and the amount of money they make. Well, guess what? If there's no games to play, who gives a shit? That's the only way I can... I don't know who you're talking about, Biz. I don't know. I do not know this person. I disavow your insinuation. But... Xbox is a joke. It will continue to be a joke for at least several more years. For the next couple of years, I would say the next 3 years minimum, Xbox will continue to be a joke and will be damage controlled by everyone out there. Game Pass is doing more damage to the Xbox games and gamers and fans than it is helping, because everyone is just focusing on, oh well, you know, Microsoft are making all this money on Game Pass, let's support them and say that that's good. Let's completely ignore the fact that they're fucking shafting us over on all these games and systems and mechanics and studios and all as well, but let's congratulate them and say everything is okay because they're making a lot of money with Game Pass. It's a fucking joke. These people that support this and defend this are a fucking joke. Microsoft, at this point, are a fucking joke. I will continue to play maybe one Microsoft game a year whenever they bother launching one that I like, which is basically probably maybe even every second year when they alternate between Halo and Gears. Lord knows I don't play Fable, and well, maybe they're going to bring something else back in the meantime. Microsoft are going multiplat. Full multiplat. Mark my words. End of this generation. 2025? No. 2027, maybe? Microsoft are going multiplat. There will be no next Xbox console. You know why? Because this Xbox is going to flop as well. And it's probably, unless the Xbox Series S comes out at a significantly lower price point, and then who knows what kind of concessions and cuts have to be made there. But they're dead. They're dead. This one's going to flop worse than the Xbox One. It's done. It's done. Mark my words. Well, Red Dead Redemption 2 VR. They're going to have to get Red Dead Redemption 2 running properly first before they try to port it to VR. So your OG Xbox is not a joke. The people in charge. Well, Paul, let me say this, okay? Everything I just mentioned just there with Xbox being a joke, it's from the current style of it and Xbox. Xbox 360 was not a joke. Xbox OG Original 180 was not a joke. Fantastic consoles, both of them. What was my favorite announcement here today? It was basically just Halo. And you know, you've seen my thoughts and feelings and opinions on Halo and what they showed off. And the only thing I cared about, practically the only thing I cared about, was Halo. And that bar was set so low. And I barely hit it. And everything else just flopped under it. What did I say? Two games in this I thought were that appealed to me altogether. Halo, which was, well, Halo. And that had issues within itself. And the other one was The Medium. It was not even a Microsoft game. Third party. Available on Xbox Series L and PC. And in fact, as soon as this stream is over, which it will be pretty much any moment now, I'm going right onto Steam to see if they updated the post for The Medium about the system requirements that they said they'd be posting fairly soon. I don't know, lads. This is ridiculous. I'm going to have to put another little addendum to this, if you will, in this week's podcast episode. I'm going to talk a little bit about this. I'm not going to go into any more detail than I did here. I'm basically going to try condense everything from the last near 2 hours down to 5 minutes or so, and just with how disappointing the entire thing I am. You're completely right, Biz. 2020. Look at it outside gaming. Look at real world 2020. Why did we think 2020 in gaming would be any better? It's just a fucking wasteland of debt and Corona-chan. Just ravaging games and series and mechanics and consoles and whatever it is that you loved, and just leaving them all for dead. That's it. Anyway. Wear a mask, everybody. You know the deal. You know the drill. I'm not putting it back on because I'm just so fucking angry with this. Peace out, everyone. We are done here. I want to thank everyone for joining me, for hanging out all on this usual. Now, Biz, Paul, Freedom, Tommy, all you guys, just hopefully you had more enjoyment from this showcase than I did. Hopefully you saw something in there that tickled your pickle a little bit more than anything that did for me here, because Halo was basically all there was for me. And I went in with extremely tempered expectations, and they were pretty much not hit. Absolute mess. This was supposed to be their big one. The console's out in a few months. I can't see them recovering from this anyway, but yeah, it's Yikes. Anyway, peace out, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me, shooting the shit, as always. It's far, far more fun and enjoyable to sit here and talk with you guys when not only when doing something like this, just because we can see how we all feel about it and all too, but not only that, it's with how disappointing this showcase was. It was more fun talking to you guys than this entire presentation. It's ridiculous. I'm not going to break the shades in half, Tommy. They're €200 Ray-Bans. I am not breaking these. But let's say it's a metaphor, right? Metaphorically, I can break them in half. Anyway, peace out, lads. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time on whatever it is. If it's another one of these, Jesus Christ, could you imagine how depressed that would make me? I'm already feeling pretty shitty in life in general because of everything. But okay, I'm done. I'm rambling. Thanks, guys. I'll see you later. Peace. Fucking Halo, man. Fucking Microsoft. Fucking